This is your weekend market recap for Saturday, August 19th, 2023. Let's go.
Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is your weekend market recap for Saturday, August 19th, 2023. Hopefully you had a good week. Little interesting action with OPEX. Not surprised the rally at the close, but also just in general, I think a lot of people have been blindsided by the fact that we thought and talked about the market was going to be heading down, but now that consensus is building that it's going to be heading down, I wouldn't be surprised by the retrace. We talk about the 20-day moving average being a very important moving average that is retested after a drop and break through it. We'll go through all the data. I think there is going to be a rally at some point. Is it based on NVDA earnings, Jackson Hole on Friday, Labor Day, new money comes in typically? Too many things to just grasp onto to say it's just one. I just wouldn't be surprised based on, again, the market is meant to take the most amount of money from the most amount of people. Believe it, know it, breathe it. All right, if you want to join the Discord room, the link is in the description below. Also, follow on Twitter, posting tons of things. Again, headlines are getting pretty bad near term, pretty bad. And again, the whole stuff with China, everybody expected that. Everybody expected that. So if you're new to the channel, check out the YouTube channel and just the Back to Basics series. Again, subscribe, follow, hit the like button, whatever. You get notifications, which is great because I do live chats 2 to 3 times a week. Also, check out thetradingagent.com. More information on real estate, market reviews, and Back to Basics series in order from beginner to more advanced. And if you want that 5.3%, telling you it is well worth it, from Goldman Sachs. Great app, easy to use, love it. Wouldn't promote it unless I used it myself. All right, Fed Watch tool, 86% as of the last time I refreshed it. Let's take a guess. 87.3, 89, whatever. Fed pause. Bitcoin broke the trend line, retesting though some support here around 25,000. I've said this for weeks. I didn't trust Bitcoin, just like I don't really trust gold at this point. And look what happened. Oil, as we talked about, hitting resistance, probably bounces at support. I'd be watching the 82 level. Nat gas, again, I think it's in purgatory for endless amounts of time, in my opinion. But a lot of people are going to argue that it's time to buy it. And I'll just, again, if they're right, great. I just think there's better trades. The dollar, now we've talked about this, holding up well, coming into resistance. Could the dollar pull back this week? Keep in mind, these are things that I could see happen. I could see oil taking a rest to drop. I could see the dollar pulling back, the market getting a little excited about it. Bonds bottoming, I think. Talked about retest, choppiness. Expect wild and loose potential at extremes. Retest. I mean, is this the retest of the October, November 2022 lows? Is it going to be a game? Is it going to be a game? It always is kind of a game, in my opinion. But something's interesting here. You got a 3-gap trap, and then you have a little lower low during OPEX. I've seen this formation many times, and this is a trap, in my opinion. But again, time will tell. Set your stops to find your risk. The VIX, I'm expecting the VIX to kind of get smoked here a little bit. It hits the 200-day, backs off. Again, I think the first drop will get bought. Remember that. First drop typically gets bought. The VIX tried to break out, couldn't do it. Check out the SPY. And this is where, again, it's do you know exactly? No. We talk about once the 20 days curling down and the market breaks trend and is peaked, you get these reverberations back to it, right? You get these reverberations back to it, right? You see what I mean? What year is it? 2020? Like, when's the top? So I wouldn't be surprised if you got it, or you could write it down. And here's an example. You broke it again. You actually went above it. It's just, in my opinion, near term, I think we're a little bit, I don't know, headline risk bearish, that I think could find a pop. Maybe it turns into a head and shoulders here. I mean, do you see the shoulder line? Can you see the shoulder line here? Could this be it here? Maybe just a pop to 443 to 445. I mean, it could get up all the way to 20-day as well, and it could be a wick. But just keep that in mind. QQQ, same kind of thing. Breaking support and then rallying back potentially. I mean, the 20-50-day cross, I mean, again, upper 360s would not surprise me. IWM, we talked about it lagging, but look what it did on Friday, right? hits the 100, 200-day, converges, decent volume. I think it's due to bounce. DIA, same kind of thing, dropping, breaks below the 50-day, here in the next support zone, got bought on Friday. Gold, leave it alone. But again, could it rally a little bit? I don't know. I mean, we've talked about this. Leave it alone until maybe even December, later in the fall. Silver, chop, 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 holding the range lows for now. Again, all these things I'd let them be. GDX, we talked about miners leading gold. These things don't look good, guys. Now, near term, this is probably a little oversold. The candles are getting smaller and shrinking, and you're at some support, and you're filling a gap here. Could they rally? Makes sense. GDXJ, again, if you're short these things with a dust, I mean, you did pretty good. You did pretty good. If you bought the dust at 10 or 9, 10, whatever, it's at 14. GDXJ, I think it's coming back in here at some point, but it could rally back, maybe 35 and then fail. AG, again, all these names, just leave them alone. Chopping, range lows. AEM, we talked about it, breaking trend. Again, every day won't be down, but someone will ask, like, hey, what do you think of this? I'm like, just leave it alone. Newmont, I mean, again, some of the biggest miners in the world look like absolute trash. Something is not right. PAAS, same kind of thing. Chopping around the 50-day. I don't trust these with my enemy's money. All right, let's get into tech. Taiwan Semi, again, we talked about these going to get beaten in time. We talked about the Head & Shoulders Gallagher top. All right, now you're in the next support zone. You're at the 200-day. I mean, again, I wouldn't be surprised if these things in the oversold condition try to find a rally. And if they do, again, look to short them. If you're hedging, makes sense. Micron, same thing, dropped from 70s. Boof. Every time he filled one of these gaps, it was a great short. I mean, 200-day, at some point, maybe. AMD, we talked about the 105s. You're welcome. Talked about this area would test at some point. So far, so good. Holding. NVIDIA, again, a lot of people were like, oh, it's going to crash or it's going to break out. We said, watch the 20-day, hit it, backed off. Now, at this point, going into earnings, it's tough to know for sure because I don't know the reaction. We don't know. We don't know how it'll react. I mean, we know the numbers will probably be good, but just if you're short, long, just be thoughtful. Just make sure, again, Wednesday after the close, make a decision by then. You probably want to hedge some. Intel, here we go again, double top, hitting the 100-day. Don't be surprised if these, again, all these names look like they're due to bounce somewhat. SMH, right? Next support. I mean, here it is. Wouldn't surprise, right? Do the math. Do the mental math. Don't be surprised. Again, straight line moves. At the end, we get the straight up like TLT. You get the straight up just liquidation. Adobe holding the 50-day. Apple talked about it trying to pin to 175 potentially. Nice little look below and fail back into maybe this 175 plus. Amazon again, if you shorted this in the 142s, looks good. Holding a 50 though, but again, don't be surprised if it gets a little sloppy and choppy. CRM, we told people leave this. I mean, this thing was toast. The CEO was selling $100 million worth of shares up in this area. Are you surprised it pulled back? Nope. Guggenheim, here you go, breaking the 20-day. I mean, all these names. I think they're going to go much lower. Meta, but here's the thing, right? You get a couple days of down. Don't be surprised. Just don't be surprised, especially when the headlines get real scary. Microsoft, here are tons of convergence here. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. NDAQ, even this piece of junk rallying. We've talked about this. Maybe the 100-day. I mean, I'd really love to see the 200, but keep that on the short list. MicroStrategy, if you shorted this up in the 450s, winning. I mean, I don't know what it'll open at with Bitcoin at 25,000, if it'll get much lower, but man, that's an awesome short. And you see what I mean? Like the first dip gets bought and then kapow. Like that's what I'd be expecting in a lot of these names. Netflix, I mean, it's gotten throttled. Here was the first dip, got bought, kind of thing. And this one's lagging. So 416 to me seems like very obvious. Resistance, Roblox. We told you guys, leave it alone. Let it come back. I mean, I don't know how cheap it's going to get, but man, you see in the low 20s, someone hit me up. Tesla, same kind of thing. Toast at trend, which is interesting. And now a lot of people thought the 100-day, including myself, would hold. And maybe we get the trend line maybe later. Look what we got. The Friday options expiration trend line special. Just keep an eye on it. Decent volume too. So I wouldn't be surprised if you just get a rally for a couple days. Letter X supposedly going to get bought out. Materials will be the next bull market. Somebody's definitely taking profits on the pops. Nucor. popped with some of that sentiment. Again, I don't think I'd want to own materials, just like we talked about shorting cat in the 287s. And what did I say? I said we'd probably test the gap. Could we hold? Looks like it. Just, again, a lot of these names that are up high, if they don't rise, they're probably going to more like just chop. And don't be surprised at that. VALE, another global growth name, looking like absolute trash. Arrow, copper, see you later. But you know what? Near term, could get back up into the 20s. Yeah. CCJ, Mays, Kathy Woods. We'll see. Holding up pretty well. Got to give it credit. But it is chopping for, I mean, obviously you got to get over this 35 level. It's been there for about 3 weeks. CF, again, we like ag long term. Let it pull back. Trying to hold the trend. It's hard to tell. Mosaic, goodbye. You know, at some point, like, let it just come in. I mean, I'd love to see this thing down in the 30s again. Give me the volume back. That would make sense. NTR. I mean, these things all got like downgrades and just silly, stupid stuff. Broke trend. AA, another global growth name that should be on fire. Broke support. Doesn't look good, guys. Again, I think materials are going to lead down. And then when the Feds pivot, then you buy. Financials, I mean, we thought we'd hold here, we'd gap below it, and then close back above it. Now, this is where it's going to be, like I said, if the market rallies, these names are oversold near term. I could see them rallying 8, 10 day, 20 day, depending on the name. Market, probably the 20. JP Morgan, same thing, rounding over, holding the 50 day. I don't know. Look at that 152 area. You can see it. You seen it? I've seen it. It looks very obvious. I would keep an eye on this area. I mean, that would surprise me if we bounce to. Morgan Stanley, you're welcome if you shorted this because we told you this thing was a donkey. However, you know, said watch for profits down here. It's getting a little choppy and sloppy. I mean, I guess technically we filled the gap here. Don't be surprised these bounce just a little bit oversold. Okay, and if they don't, great. I mean, this is the thing about when you're short. Just remember, the market likes to rally, rip hard on counter rallies, right? If you know that, then you got it. Don't be trying to be perfect with your hedging strategies. Just do the best you can do. Goldman. Trend line at some point. KRA, we told you 49.50 area was going to be really hard to get over. Rejection, right? XBI, another name that should be up if the market's strong. Wrong. Solar, you're welcome. We told you this stuff was crap. It's still crap. Gonna probably bounce here at the 57 level. Are you surprised? No, it's oversold, right? ENPH, same thing. I mean, these names are getting harder to short down here because they've taken big losses. So, I mean, again, will they go to zero? I don't know. But if I was short these names, I'd be taking profits the further they drop, and especially these hard moves. Because what they can do after a hard move is, you'll get some sort of, I'm trying to see, like, you'll get like a snapback. You see that? You'll get these snapbacks. And then that's where you can reshort. And especially say you only do a quarter, 30%, 40, I mean, whatever. You pick the number. Use the reoccurring patterns to your advantage. First Solar, I told you guys this thing was toast up here. Toasties. Sorry, this is another resistance. I don't know why I didn't save there. But we talked about this being a potential head and shoulders top, 200-day, adios amigos. And we'll end it with oil. Not surprised. 20-day holding up. Okay, UNG again, leave this thing. I don't know. I show it. Blah, blah, blah. Leave it alone. XOP. I would watch because this could be a lower high. Is it going to be a double top? I mean, this is the hardest part about trying to pick tops all in because sometimes you do get retest. Looks like a novice gap. But then today's action, again, trappy, sloppy. I mean, again, I think oil will be all over the place in the next couple of days. Exxon, they pinned that sucker to 110. Look at that. Keep it simple. Oxy, Buffett selling calls. Probably going to roll out more calls next week. Like to see it a little higher. PXD. I mean, again, I like the oil short trades, but it might just take a couple days. And again, define your risk. Have your stops. EQT holding up. We talked about the 44 level rejecting. Watch the 20-day. Last but not least, Flex LNG. We like this long term. I think this is a good name. I just want to see it pull back. I love the dividend yield. All right. If you have any questions, please reach out. Always here to help. Use the Calendly link if you want to schedule 30 minutes. Again, I call people in the group all the time. They have questions and seem that they might be struggling. I'm always here to help. If you have any thoughts, concerns, again, just don't be scared to reach out. Leave a comment below. I appreciate all the love, the feedback, the donations. It's all helpful. I'm trying to do the best I can to help the most amount of people. Am I going to be perfect? No. Are you going to be perfect? No. It's all about trying to manage risk, define it,
and being able to be okay with being wrong. It's a probability-based game. If you're sitting here trying to tell yourself that you can never lose, wrong. If you have any questions with real estate, market is slow and fast. Just telling you right now, if you do need to sell, then you need a great strategy. You need a great real estate agent. Please reach out. If you're looking to buy and you're starting the idea like, there might be some juicy deals out there, talk to me. Talk to me. Put me in touch with a good lender. Get the process started, because there's all types of ways to finance this. You guys know it. So on that note, I'll talk to you guys and gals later. Have a great weekend.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.